Before I get to our main topic of bottoming patterns, which haven't been working out great because all the money's been going into semiconductors, which tech stocks, and limited breadth in the market. But the small caps began to pick up recently. But let's look at the cues here today, and then I'm going to share with you what we discussed in the green room today. So the markets have been moving up. They made this big gap up of about 3% at the beginning of April, and it's just been going up and up and up. And notice there's no green dots along the bottom here. Green dots mean that they made a pivot. They pulled back for 3 days and then went up for 3 days. There's none there. It's just been on fire to the upside. So no pullbacks, little to no consolidation, a few days and continues. Today was a wide range bar. Wide range bars that come after a move like this, typically, historically, suggest that momentum is going to slow. And slow can mean a pullback. It may just continue to move up tomorrow or into the end of the week where we get a capitulation type of a move to the upside. We'll see. It's extended by any measure, or whether you use an oscillator, it's overbought. Fine. But it's extended from support, and the more it keeps going up, the more it's going to be susceptible to a retracement and potentially a large retracement, which is common sense. We'll see what that does. So today in the green room, we were talking about bottoming patterns. And there's been a lot of them as software stocks try to bottom, even some big caps, Microsoft. And we may see some catch-up trades, meaning money rotates into laggards. That was part of this morning's pre-market review and the caption about time for catch-up trades, because money usually rotates into laggards as more and more stocks or markets get extended to the upside. So Microsoft just might be one of those stocks. Others, software, is beaten down, but a lot of them have just whipped us around as they started to move up. They whip back down, they've come back up again, and some are just total garbage, really erratic, and this gapped up on earnings. So what I went through today in different layouts was, let's get some basic, really basic criteria to start with. You can see at the bottom here, there's a little over 800 stocks in here. That's a starting point. I just want to eliminate certain things. So what is that? Well, you can go in here and you go into this list criteria, and what I'm looking for, average true range greater than 0.5, which just means it's not something that's totally dead. Price range, $10. I'm really not interested in things under $10, but this could be adjusted. You could say, show me things between $1 and $30, whatever you want. I put 10 to 1200. 30-day average true range, 250,000 shares. So it's going to eliminate things that are very low volume. Cap 500 to the moon, so to speak. And I want little low cap stocks in there, but this could be adjusted. Beta, it's got a certain amount, at least a certain amount of volatility. The 20 MA is pointing up and the close is above the 50 MA on the daily, and the 20 MA on the daily is above the 50 MA. Okay, that's a starting point. And with that starting point, it gives us 800 stocks. As more stocks would meet that criteria, it'll fill in more. As less, it'll start to eliminate them. Okay, so now we've got different scans in here. So one of the things that I had in there, so to be above the 100 MA on the daily. Actually, I had it set up to be above the 20 MA on the weekly, which is roughly, give or take, equal to the 100 MA on the daily. And it eliminated some bottoming things that, while I really not interested in them exactly as a bottoming pattern, some of them can be filtered visually. So I put the criteria in this row here. So as I come up and I look for different things within here, and I could add more or take away less. Say I'm looking for wide range bars. Those are bearish wide range bars. So let's look for bullish wide range bars today. And there's a whole bunch. So as I go through these, as I'm looking at them, say, hey, that's moving up very nicely, but you know what? I missed the move. But if I would have scanned in here earlier in the week, I would have found this under something that was at the 20 MA. It's not. So wide range bars, that was a gap reversal. What is this good for? Possibly put spreads. It's not good for a directional trade. There's one that's bottoming. And now, look, red dot. This is still below the 100 MA. You see that the weekly chart is right there. And this is one of the things that we've been seeing with patterns like this right at the 100 MA. Now, moving averages are subjective, granted, but does this have room to run? It could. The 200 is up there. It's right at a pivot high, right? 3 lower highs to the left and right. Wide range bar is a power bar. There is volume. So what could we do with this? I could wait to see if it forms a 1, 2, 3 or goes sideways for a little while to see if it improves. It's moved a lot in a short amount of time. So if we to have bought this above this high, it doesn't have far to run before it's going to hit its head on the ceiling. And then you get a whip back. And that's not what we're interested in. I'm trying to find things that have the ability to run, have a void, or does not have something subjective like a 200 where it's going to move to, where I know where it's going to stop because this is where it fell from and there's an unfilled gap and I have to put my stop here. And so the reward to risk isn't favorable. But if this went sideways for a longer period of time, moving away from this area, and I don't know if the 200 would possibly come underneath that. It might take a while. It probably would take a while before the 200 would get under prices. But again, I'm going through these to filter out things that have a decent reward to risk. Now, there's a wide range bar, but it's up too much. This was talked about today in the green room, and it's got room to go. But now we need a secondary type of a criteria, which could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, some other type of a pattern that would support an entry point. Right now, this doesn't support an entry point because it's broken out and it's up several days in a row. Common sense. And this is up a whole bunch. The idea here is, as we're looking for bottoming patterns, to find higher quality bottoming patterns where the 20 is above the 50, it's above the 100 on the daily. I could put a 100 MA on the daily, but here's my weekly chart. The 20 is equal to the 100, and I know where that 100 is by looking at this chart. So prices moving up like this had a power type of a move and pulling back to the 20, I don't have any signal until here. So it isn't a great setup. Ideally, it would have pulled back to, say, the 50 where it was further away from this congestion. And why did this go up as this did? I would suspect because the market has just been on fire and buyers are coming in. And when you look to the left and you see a resistance area like this, where historically prices would have stopped there, this just cut right through it like the proverbial hot knife through butter. And that is more indicative of a market environment that is just hot right now, especially for technology stocks. When we look at our criteria, we look for our basic things, support, resistance, and trend, and I see that prices are close to a resistance area. I'm not buying this above that high. Just historically, it wouldn't get through it, but it just cut through it that day. It gapped up and it just went. So I'm explaining things here. So this one is bottoming. It's a biotech stock. We don't trade biotech stocks because news comes out and you see that's going to report earnings on the 11th. It might rocket. It might gap down and be something terrible. Here's one breaking out a software stock. Money is rotating into software stocks. It's already moved. It's above the 200. It's above the 20 on the weekly. It's at this pivot high. It's one to put on a list. I'll just flag it and put it in a list. And if this goes sideways for a while, it has the potential to go higher. It's going to report earnings on the 14th. So on this page, I can see a tremendous amount of information. When earnings are going to report, I can see moving averages in multiple time frames. Over here, I got a 65-minute chart. At times, it may not meet my criteria for a swing trade, but it may be improved enough to where even a bottoming one that maybe is not above the 100, it may be developed enough where the 65-minute chart is basing, and that could be an entry point for an intraday trade. Short answer is we're looking for situations, something like this potentially, which gone sideways long enough where it's above the moving averages, it's got room to go up. We get a pattern, filtering out some of the more questionable ones where we're starting with a list that we know is close to what we're looking for. If it's below this moving average, it's going to have a red dot. I want to see all the ones that are below. This is going to show me a whole bunch of ones that maybe meet some other criteria like a wide range bar, but it's below the 100 MA. And then I can go and look at it, right? So Yeti, It's below the 100. You can see the 20 there on the weekly, but it's at a pivot. If this went sideways for a while, I could say I could be really interested in that it could keep going. So I'm just going to flag it and put it in there. I'll repeat, moving averages are subjective, but they can be a great beginning criteria. Look at this one. 20 is declining on the weekly. It's up at resistance. It's below the 200. Yet it's got a lot of volume coming into it at reported earnings, but it's just a crappy, garbage, whippy pattern. I'm not interested in that. And if it goes higher, I don't care. There's another one. It's just not doing much of anything. Well, that one's moved down. This is some of the stuff that we've been dealing with that looks pretty darn good initially, right? It takes out these pivot highs. It goes up. It forms a little pullback there, but the 20 is declining. It's in a downtrend on the weekly. I'd rather pass. Now, that isn't to say that something like this couldn't go up. It's in the same sector of one that did go up, but I have to, again, create that criteria that I know historically puts the odds in my favor. And if something is in a downtrend on the weekly and this is declining and it's close to some resistance, I'd rather pass. I'd rather miss it and find things that have a higher probability of working out. So there you have it. I hope that helps. This was a big discussion in the green room later today where we went through creating the list and what the criteria was. Nothing proprietary. It's all shared. You can adjust some of this for yourself if you had TC2000. If you become a member, happy to share this with you or any of my other layouts. If you have questions, email me, Greg at Master Trader.